Well, good morning, folks. It is blistering hot. I cannot tell y'all how hot and humid it is this morning. And I'm here in a beautiful creek that has one of the funnest panfish that I have ever caught. The panfish I'm referring to, well, is a red breast sunfish. Now this little bait right here is perfect for a lot of different panfish, not just red breast sunfish, but just about all species. A red breast sunfish, as y'all know, is a very aggressive fish. They eat hellgrammites and they eat crawfish, believe it or not. They're just like a warmouth or a rock bass or even a green sunfish. They will eat a small crawfish in a New York second or any type of larva. Today we're going to be fishing with a Z-Man Micro Finesse Larva Z. They come in, of course, a lot of different colors. This is the 1.75, which is 1.75 inches long. Very, very small bait. That's the motor oil color. Here is the bloodworm color, which is natural. Here is the black color, which is what I'm going to start off throwing today. The glow, which I really don't know about that. Here's another one, a pink one. And here's another earth tone color, which is natural when it comes to larva. This is the green pumpkin color. And that's usually the colors that I use, is the earth tone colors, the colors that really look like larva. Ain't that pretty? Little yellow butterfly. And look at him. Well, now I'll show you how I have this one set up. That butterfly likes me. He's all over me. I have this. First I'll go into the tackle, a light action rod, 6.5 foot sow belly rod. This is 6-pound test braid and a 6-pound test fluorocarbon leader, and I'm using a long leader because this water here is incredibly clear. But I have this bait tied with a loop knot, which is very, very important, but I'm using a tiny jig head. Tiny jig head. That is a 1/64 of an ounce jig head. Very, very light. Tied with a loop knot, which is very important. This bait is just like all the rest of the Last Take baits. I'm going to fish this bait on the bottom. I'm going to let it hit the bottom, and when it does, it'll stand this bait up. Just a minute, all it is just a little Ned rig. I'm going to move it a few inches, and then it'll stand back up. It looks very natural fishing it that way. Right over here looks pretty good to me. It's a deep hole. It's shaded. Let's make a long cast. Such a good looking place right here. There he is. My. That's a good one too. I knew there's a fish there. I knowed it. Yep. Ain't that pretty? Look at the colors in that fish right there, folks. Arguably, that's a big word, one of the prettiest panfish that they are as far as colors. Looky there. Is that not pretty? Can y'all see this? Light jig head. See how slow that's falling? That's what I'm wanting. I'm wanting a very, very slow fall. So that's the reason why I chose 6-pound test braid and a 6-pound test fluorocarbon leader. That's the reason. I want that small diameter line so this bait can sink as fast as it can, but yet I'm wanting to keep my bait extremely light. So on the fall it looks natural, because a lot of these bites will be on the fall before it hits the bottom, but some of them won't be. But I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but I'm gonna let it hit the bottom here on this flat rock. Y'all see how that bait is standing up? That is so important for that to do that. And little bitty movements like that are very natural looking. It's hard for a fish to not bite it. They should be a big one or two right here. There's one right there. Yeah, that's a good one. I knew it, I knew it. I mean, that's a good one right here. Woo-wee. There's probably several more right there. Look here, what a red breast. That's what I'm talking about right there. Y'all can see that compared to... Hey, that's a big one right there. Thank you. See how many bites? You're constantly getting bites on a bait like this. It looks so natural and realistic. See, it's on the bottom now and it's standing up, so what I'm going to do is just barely crawl it. That makes it look more natural than anything you can do. But I'm convinced there's no fish in this hole much, a bunch of little ones. We're going to walk on up and we're going to find some, folks. And by the way, this jig head that I'm using right here, I don't know if I said it or not, has a size 8 hook in it. Very small hook. And it's not really necessary for red breast sunfish to have a little tiny hook like that. But what it is, the jig head matches this bait, because as you can see, I don't have it but about halfway of this bait right here. It's a short hook in it, probably 5/8 of an inch long, and it comes to about the center of the bait. So I have all of this for action. Okay, the shorter the jig head, the better off you'll be, because it'll give that plastic more action, a more realistic look, in my opinion. This is exactly what we're looking for. See how deep this water's getting? And there's a crawfish pincher down there. Y'all can see that. Man, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Ooh, got bit. Got bit again, got bit twice on the fall. Those are little bitty fish though, but they should be. There he is too. See what we got. Feels like a red breast. It is. Now I bet this hole right here is eat up. I bet this area here is eat up. This is a lot deeper water, and there's a lot better quality fish. A lot better. That's more like it. Now see how big their mouth is? They can handle a much bigger bait than this one. Guarantee you, I've actually caught them on plastic worms before fishing for bass. And I bet a lot of y'all watching have too. But there he goes. Let's make another cast. See if there's one over there bigger. They could be. I'm just crawling it on the bottom, and there he is. Working it just, all this bait is just a little baby micro Ned rig. And that's how I fish this bait, just the same as I do the other. Oh, we come off. That was a good one. My goodness, let's make another cast out there. Golly, you want to hit it. Oh, there's just a bunch of fish out there. There's a lot of little ones, But, golly, we've hit the fish now. A lot of little ones, but there's some big ones in there too. There's one. Yeah, now this is fun. When you finally really find them, this is fun. Because it's one cast after the next. This is a big one right here. He stripped some drag. He stripped the drag. And these are delicious eating fish. They taste just about exactly like bluegill. Look here, what a fish. Ain't that pretty? That is beautiful. That's what we're looking for right there. That size and bigger. That is it, folks. Just a nice fish right there. You make those long casts. Golly. That no more hit and one was on it, folks. That no more than hit the top of the water and there's one on it. If I catch a big old bluegill, which there are some giants in here, but it's mainly this creek right here is dominated by red-breast sunfish, which is not unusual. They're a very, very aggressive fish. But they are, what bluegill that are in here are huge. But that, look at there. I heard a bullfrog. I mean, this bait is very, very effective. Fishing it on the bottom like I showed y'all, very, very slowly. Like this. Let me hit the bottom. Just barely, barely moving it. Oh boy, they can't stand that. But the fact of the matter is, there's so many fish in here, they're hitting it on the fall. Could be one right there. Yep. Golly, get out of there. My goodness, I had a hard time holding that fish out of there. Look here, what one, folks. No wonder. Now that is what we're looking for right there. Great old biggins like that right there. Now there could be another one right there. Let's let this one go. My, get on back. You know, let me add this. When these fish are not on bed, and it don't matter if you're talking about a red-breast sunfish, bluegill, a red ear, or commonly called shellcracker, or rock bass, or any other panfish, folks, this is a dynamite way to approach it. Light tackle and little small baits like this one, and tough little baits is the way to go about it, in my opinion. See, there's one right there. He picked it up off the bottom. It's a red breast. Come on up here. But beautiful fish, no doubt. But it's not the size we're looking for. We're looking for the big ones. But that's still our target species right there. And I'll show you the hole that I caught that one out of, even though he was little. See that? It's just a wallered out hole. And then the surrounding area right here shallow. Right here in front of us, let's look at this. Is a red-breast sunfish nest. And I'm going to tell you what, they make a huge nest. Y'all look how big this nest is. Right there. It's as big as a tractor trailer tire. They're the only species of panfish that I know that makes a bed that big. But for them, it must be necessary, or they wouldn't do that. That's just the way God made them. Okay, I've worked my way around over here to this tree like I wanted to. Now, I had to come right down through there, folks. But you can see my mud trail. It is deep. This is a lot better angle right here. Here's a fish. Let's see what do we got right here? What is this? I want y'all to look at this. Now, I don't have no idea what this fish is. And he does have something on him, but I have no idea. I'm going to say it's a rock bass. Look how pretty that fish is. It's mixed in between probably a rock bass and a red-breast sunfish. That's what I'm guessing. But look how pretty that is. That's a pretty hybrid right there. I've never caught one of those, but I believe that's right. I believe that's going to be right. Ain't that pretty? Get on back in there. Let's try that again. Listen to that frog. Boy, them's big ones. There's another fish. Yep. Is this another one of them? Well, I'll be doggone. Looky here. That's an unusual fish. And for some reason, he does have, first time I've ever seen that in this creek, he does have some parasites on him. For some reason. What about that? Let's make another cast. There's several of those, and they're hanging together. Now I'm getting real fascinated. Catching these hybrid looking fish right here. There's another one. That's a hybrid. Look at that. Look at the beautiful markings on that fish. Folks, this is something else to me. When fish cross, that's what you got right there. A beautiful, beautiful fish. Ain't that something? Now I'm having fun. I was having fun a while ago, but I didn't expect all this to happen. Just let him go. One thing that's interesting to me, or more than interesting, fascinating to me, when you're talking about fishing for individual species, picking a species of fish, and specifically putting a target on them, is that knowing their habits is very, very important. Knowing what size of baits and what they actually feed on out here in the environment that they're living is very, very important, folks. Especially when you're talking about artificials, matching the hatch, matching the right artificial for that particular fish is very, very important. And there's one right there. That's the most important part of it, is being able to get a hook in them. He's darting in them rocks. That's a good one. If there's some big rocks around, what they try to do, he's missing part of a tail. Something snapped his tail off. I've seen some big snapping turtles in some of these creeks, especially this time of year, because they're laying eggs. Still laying eggs this time of year. Let's let him go. That's a good fish right there. Boy, they love this larva Z. It's not specifically fashioned after, one particular nymph it could look like it could look like most anything to them. And that makes for a good bait when something could be mistaken for several different things. Oh, he hit it on the fall. Well, folks, that's going to be about the end of it. I got a long ways to go, but I'm going to say this. These little baits right here are dynamite. They're dynamite. What they'll do for you is they'll catch you a lot of fish without getting torn up. And they're natural looking. I tell you what, I depend on them a lot of times, especially walking way down these creeks like this, trying to find the best fishing that I possibly can. Very important to not have to be hassled by messing around with baits. Very important. I want to say God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for all the great comments. Everything that y'all do is greatly appreciated. Hey, look at the flower. What kind of flower is that? It's an orangin. And remember, go fishing when you can, because it's good for you.